Yep, that's us. You're probably wondering how we got into this situation. It started off so well too. Look at this morning. I mean, what could go wrong? Well, we were soon to find out. Pretty much everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Kind of. I mean, it could have been worse, don't get me wrong, but it was just a series of unfortunate events, I guess you could say. You can't park there. For more on the first half of the day, you might want to go back and watch the last video I put out. After navigating the trucks up the driveway dilemma, it was time to try and get the boat on the trailer, which had its own dramas. I think the length
Stuart!
it's still a high angle, but better than what we've done. Oh, just in time. It took a few goes to get the slings and rigging and everything as low as we could get it. And annoyingly, each time we had a test lift,
So they're doing a bit of a
kept
reset.
moving the boat in the cradle, and so we had to end up propping it up with some bits of wood, which also wasn't that ideal, but it worked.
Needs to be short. Well, we don't know what goes on the building site, isn't it? Or a work site.
Yes.
We're right to worry about, isn't it?
I was going to say, it's just as well that we don't
Actually see it.
see.
We could just envisage it. Because these are the kind of experiences we get to go, oh Jesus.
Get
Oh.
those boards.
The boards are going to put a hole in the side of the boat. Oh, whoa. Did we get a hole or just some paint?
It's above the borderline, hopefully.
I kind of found it amusing that everybody thought if it's a little bit dodgy I'll just try and hold the 7-ton boat up with my hand, but anyway. Long story short, the boat ended up on the trailer, the truck got down the driveway, only getting stuck a couple of times on the way down, and she was on her way to the marina. For the first time in about 10 years. And off she goes!
Never to be seen again!
There was definitely a lot of excitement in the air watching her travel down the road on the trailer, but also a lot of nerves. Definitely a tight squeeze on these narrow roads, but she made it to the marina in one piece.
This is all a big discussion. This is what goes on when you see all those chaps with safety gear on, standing around a little group like penguins. Very important.
What's going on? Toolbox meeting, that's what's going on.
Very important.
You gotta have your health and safety, you know what I mean?
There's such cool rock formations around here. Very, very cool. They just hang up there. Spectacular. And still they're talking about it. Just talking about it some more. Uh-oh. I hope they got the videos and stuff, because I'm not lying. I smell good around here.
eventually we get everything set up and rigged up and ready to lift. It's time to take the weight off, and then we take all the strops off. And that's kind of where it all started to turn to crap a bit, really. Apologies for this next bit of video, the quality's not that great, but at least we got it on camera. Yep, and this is the moment it all turned to crap. Yep, safe to say a couple of people probably had to change their undies after that wee incident. So you can see now that the boat's not actually sitting that nicely in the sling anymore, which meant nobody was real keen to get up and assess the damage, and so the decision was made to just kind of put it in the water and hope for the best, which is what we did. What do you guys think? Did we make the right decision? Should we have put it in the water? What would you have done? I'm not sure why, but a lot of this footage had no audio, so you just have to, imagine crane noises and like seagulls and stuff. So I don't know if any of you have picked up, but with all the stuffing around, with all the delays that we've had, we're actually running a little bit behind the times, and so the tide is a lot lower than we were hoping when we got to this point, which meant the crane had to reach down a lot further than what it would have had to if we didn't get stuck in the driveway a million times and get stuck on the fence post and all the other stuff. So all of that stuff added time to our job, which meant that we missed high tide by, I don't know, at least an hour, I'm guessing. So we're probably quite lucky that we got it in the water, to be honest, when we did. Yeah, again, sorry about the footage. The GoPro seemed to do everything in slow-mo for this, so there's no audio, and that's why it's a bit patchy. So I can't remember what the hold-up was at this point, why it took so long to get from here to the water. I suspect it had to do with the crane overloading again, which is what caused the boat to fall out of the cradle in the first place. So we get the boat down on the water, everybody celebrates, yay, we've made it, and then we think, oh shit, how much water's coming in? And that's when I run down and have a look to see. Surely there'll be none, but no, that's a lie. We're actually expecting a little bit of water. But I don't think we were expecting quite this much. Got a wee waterfall. Bilge pump's keeping up though, so hopefully we're all good. So at this point, it's decision time. What do you do? It's taking on water, a reasonable amount. Do we try and pull it back out? Is it too much water? So we've got to try and get bilge pumps going, and then we make the decision to take it round to the marina because there's no power on this dock, and we're running on battery power only. So we knew the bilge pumps were cycling every 30 odd seconds or so, but what we didn't realise until much later on was just how much water they were cycling every 30 seconds. Turns out it was about 3 litres every 30 seconds, so that's quite a lot of water that we were taking on. Oh, and of course, on the way to the marina, we managed to get the gearbox stuck in reverse and we couldn't get it out, so we had to back into our slip. And we got to this point here, and we'd lost all our steerage. We actually hit the side. We ran aground. And we just managed to sneak in through the side before the tide was too low, because you can only get into this spot at high tide, basically, or pretty close to high tide. So we were running out of time to get in here. We're lucky we got in here at all. Nothing to see here. It's fine. Nothing to see. On the plus side, the bilge pump's working pretty good. Yeah, but it sounds like a cheap-ass Temu bilge pump. For now. Yeah. And that's about it, really. So to put it into context, we're pumping out 3 litres every 30 seconds. That's 4,320 litres every 12 hours. That's a lot of water. Yeah. So it's got a wee leak. It may or may not have been a result of dropping the boat off the crane. Yeah. So, note to self. Make sure the crane's big enough before they start lifting it, because they were operating. That's on them, because they knew it was 7 tons. So we rang up the company and told them how heavy the boat was, and they came up with an 8-ton crane. Well, it's a 7-ton boat, which means they've only got a ton to play with. And when we were swinging it out, it hit the load limit. And then when he was trying to get it reset, it dropped all the power off the crane, and it basically dropped the whole boat onto the trailer and then tipped it. Well, you'll see in the video. But it did some damage, and this is probably the result of the damage. I don't know, but it wouldn't have helped. It definitely didn't help. Yeah. And all this is definitely a result of the damage. You can see all the broken wood there along the side rail. But she is floating, so that's a plus.
6 hours later.
Well, the good news is the water's only trickling out now, so it has slowed down a lot. Still leaking though, as you can see. And the bad news is that one of the bilge pumps has died already, so we're down to one bilge pump. One cheap-ass Temu bilge pump. So yeah. It just sounds like quality, doesn't it? Could be better, could be worse. Let's put the mast on. With the mask with the gearbox, it doesn't work. And a boat that leaks. Details. Winning. Yeah. Should I give us some beans there, Captain Nemo? Captain Nemo. There's my fingers, sorry. Hit that, little Johnny. Yep, that is actually how we transported the mast. Just set it on the truck and the trailer. It is a 20-metre mast, so it's pretty long. And it's set on there nicely. It's pretty much a real sailboat, except for not having sails and stuff. And it leaks, and the gearbox doesn't work properly, but you know, it's minor details. So we are off to put the mast in. Alright, so we're putting the mast in, and it's tradition with the mast is to have a coin in the bottom. So this is where the mast locates. Couldn't find the original coin originally, so we put this one in, but we have found the original coin, so we'll take that one out. And this is the original. Focus. And you can see it's left an indent. There we go. Good luck, apparently. Think we need it.
don't know if you can see them from up here, but there's two great big stingrays just floating around down there. If you can see them, there's one next to the dock piles. The other one then. I'm intrigued by all the activity, I'd say. Take two. Yeah. Yeah. That's food. Yeah.
So we're here right on high tide again, which in hindsight we probably should have waited till the tide started going down a wee bit, because our crane isn't high enough to lift from the top. So we had to pick the mast up in the middle or thereabouts and kind of swing it in on a bit of a wanky angle. And yeah, let's just say it would have been a lot easier if the boat was a little bit lower in the water to get the angle right. But you know, you just got to make do with the thingies and get the angle with the angle and just get it in there, you know. So with a bit of finessing and a bit of advice from our eyes on the water there and the kayak Don, yeah, we got it in. Well, almost. I know what you're thinking. What's taking so long? But just remember, this is just foreplay. You know what I mean? You know? Here we're trying to get the halyards off from being wrapped around the mast.
Come here, dog. There's a truck coming. Sit.
So there are two lower shrouds that come off the mast here at that point where Brent is on the mast. One that comes from the mast where he's standing on the ladder, and the other one that comes from the end of the spreader. And we're trying to debate on how we could actually reach out to attach it before we realise that if we just wait for the tide to drop, then we can just do it from the wharf. One of the handy benefits of having a 4 metre tide.
Just a bit of a view to show you how much the tide has gone out. So perhaps you can see how much the boat has dropped. If you look at those first spreaders, Dal can almost touch them.
Once we had one side of the rigging attached, we spun the boat around on the wharf so we could reach the other side. Work smarter, not harder, guys. So by the time we got all the rigging sorted out, clearly the tide had dropped too low for us to get back to our marina berth. So we had to wait it out for the tide to start coming back in. So we're stuck here on the public wharf, or it's not a public wharf. I don't know whose wharf it is. Anyway, we're stuck here until the tide comes back in. And the whole time we're here, I think about every 30 seconds the bilge pump's going off. Like just religiously, every 30 seconds, day in, day out. Just before dark, the tide came back up enough that we could get the boat back into a slip for the night and celebrate finally having a boat with a mast. Haha. As we were coming into the marina, the motor died because the battery didn't have enough power to run the fuel pump. So we only just made it. Although it was a beautiful sunny day, the boat was mostly in the shadow of the dock for most of the day, so we didn't actually get much solar at all, which is why the fuel pump died and ran out of battery and all that, etc, etc.
Close enough so you can throw a rope. I'll get on John's boat.
So for the second time in 2 days, we had to tow the boat back into the marina and back to our berth. So it wasn't a good start, but when we finally got it tied to the dock, it was time to celebrate with a bottle of champagne. Everyone put in a massive effort to get here, and yeah, it was. I think it was all worth it. There we go, that's what $200 gets you. Green. Hey. Red. Yes. Well, it's the last day, and we've got hopefully the leaks down to a minimum. We'll go see, we'll have a look, eh? Still floating. Yeah, still timer. So the last job to be done was to take off the rigging that was too long so we can take it back and get it shortened for the next time. And after that it was time to stand back and marvel at our achievements. Yeah. So the boat's in the water. Yeah. Mast. Guess what, everybody? We are on the water.
Woohoo!
Hey, on the water.
On the water. Woo! Oh.
Alright, yeah, that's it done. Yep. We're only thinking a little bit, so yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for everybody that helped. We couldn't have done it without you.